Oh my goodness. I did one of the best intros ever with no sound. None. Let's start that over. Let's do it again. We gotta do it again. All right, hold it, here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the episode of Rants About Tech Live for this March 19th. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys for being in the chat today early. For air horn for the people who are in the chat early. I know we already did this, but we're gonna do it again. We got Mr. Mike. We got Mr. Media. All the misters. We got CJ in the building. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. And we got me. I'm in here. Apparently. Apparently I'm here as well. We got eInk in the Discord. Like eInk's ready to give some input on any story we have on hand today. So I appreciate her for being the willing participant today. Oh man, good to hear my voice. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what happened. Oh, but you know what I did figure out. So I figured out why at the beginning of my lives it starts stuttering and I've been having connection issues. Google's doing something. Like I have these pucks. I have the Google Nest Wi-Fi system, right? It's a Wi-Fi router that has multiple additions you can add to it to extend. It's a Wi-Fi extension system, a mesh Wi-Fi network, if you will. You didn't think I knew that, did you? Yeah. This ain't Rants About Tech for nothing. So I got the mesh network going in the home, but one of the I don't even know what the extension nodes. I don't know what they're called exactly, but they're Google Assistant enabled, right? But they also extend the Wi-Fi. Ever since Google's been doing crazy stuff with their AI, that thing has been not doing well. The health is down on that thing. It's got COVID. That thing's got COVID. I have a condition called achalasia, you guys. I gotta say this up front because this may happen in another live. So let's get this out of the way. All right. Your boy deals with a condition called achalasia. I've had it since the military. I would argue to say the military probably caused it. I won't go on about conspiracy theories on that, but whatever. I find that eating bread helps with that. The contractions. Oh, I ate bread today. I ate crackers. Nothing helped. Tons of water, which usually helps. Nothing helped. I went to yogurt. I got some yogurt mixed with some honey. Listen, if you haven't had yogurt mixed with honey, you don't know what you're missing. Okay, you just don't know what you're missing. So anyway, I got some yogurt in my desperation. I broke out in sweats. I started convulsing. I didn't, but I was like, I got a live to do. I can't be in this distressed condition right now. I got to find something that works. I'm running around the apartment frantically trying to find something that works. I was like, you know what? In a last ditch effort, I went and got yogurt. I love yogurt. I don't know why it wasn't my first. I don't know. Anyway, I mixed it with some honey, as I always do, and I tried it. It's working. It's working. So, moral of the story, if you have achalasia, medical condition with the esophagus, muscles, they contract when they shouldn't be. Spasms, it's terrible. If you have that, yogurt, it stopped it almost immediately. I used to have to pump myself full of bread and water and feel nauseous for the rest of the day just to calm it down, but no, nothing today. Yogurt fixed the problem. I'm feeling great. Let's go to the chat real quick. Yeah, it must be Google. Yeah, the internet, I'm telling you, I switched my internet over to the normal router because I still have the normal router going. I don't trust connections. I need multiple. So I still have the normal router going. So I switched over to the normal router today, fixed the connection issues instantly. I'm telling you, it fixed it instantly. So I think the Google AI thing that they're switching up. Google's switching a bunch of their AI stuff. We're going to talk about a story here today. Google switching over from Google Assistant to Google Gemini on mobile. They should just do that everywhere. We'll get into that though. The chat says, Mr. Mike says, I love some yogurt. Definitely. Yogurt's the bomb. There's a guy who popularized yogurt in the U.S. I don't remember his name. The Dan and Yogurt dude, whoever he was. He popularized yogurt in the U.S. and he did that because he thought himself that yogurt prolonged life. Like he did research on different sections of the world, and he isolated different sections of the world where populations were living longer. And he decided to go to these places and do some research to figure out why they were living longer. He thought yogurt was a thing. I'm not sure if yogurt prolongs life, but it's definitely helping me out today. It cleared that achalasia up, lickety split. Lickety split, you heard? Anyway, yogurt, honey, new merch, no doubt. I'm always down for some new merch. Speaking of new merch, we've got, hold on, let's look at this real quick. We haven't even gotten through the introductions yet. We haven't even gotten through the introductions yet. What are the national holidays today? We should have looked at it. All right, so holidays today. Whoa. I forgot to put today at the end of that. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Why would it have a problem with showing me the national holidays today? I type in national holidays today. It doesn't know what I'm talking about. I go to Cliff and say, hey, Cliff, tell me the national holidays today. Cliff's like, I got you. Okay, Cliff. All right, what do we got here? Certified Nurses Day today. Certified nurses. Now, I was talking to a nurse the other day. A shameful nurse. I don't even know if she should call herself a nurse. I was like, hey, you're a nurse. Have you ever seen the show Nurse Jackie? She's like, no. I'm like, really? And what is your profession again? You are a nurse? You've never seen Nurse Jackie? I'm not anywhere near the medical field, and I've seen Nurse Jackie. If you haven't seen Nurse Jackie, very interesting show. Dark humor, but very good. So that's what National or Certified Nurses Day makes me think of, Nurse Jackie. So go nurses. If you got nurses in your life, show some appreciation. They go through a lot, especially during COVID. Oh my God. Nurses got the worst of it. National Let's Laugh Day. I laugh all the time. Laughing is a medicine, if you will. It does the soul. I don't even know where the soul is at. Is it here? The heart is here. The soul is probably to the right of the heart. It's the heart's right-hand man. National Let's Laugh Day. It's good for the soul. So laugh today. National Chocolate Caramel Day. I got caramel in the cabinet right now that was bought. I don't know what Amy was thinking. I've never tasted chocolate I didn't like, except for dark chocolate. I can't do dark chocolate. But that stuff, whew. That's all I'll say about that. That's it. Those are the interesting things today. So if you're involved in any of those things, show some appreciation for nurses, chocolate caramel, and laughing, because we like to laugh. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now we go on to like promotions, shameless promotions. I'm gonna start shameless promotions with a pen. This is neither here nor there today, you guys. This is neither here nor there today, but I'm gonna start the promotions off today with this pen right here. All this pen is special. Can we get this on camera? Can we? Oh, you can't even see that. You don't even know? Can we? Hold on. Will the back of the Nomad help us? Absolutely not. The back of the Nomad did us no good. Okay. Well, you can't see this. You probably won't. Can I? Oh, I can get further. Whoa, I didn't even know I could go further. Now you can see it. Now you can. Holy cow. Are we seeing the tip of this pen? You've never seen anything like that. I know you haven't. You have never seen anything like that. Because I haven't before this. That's a clear nib right there. Oh, that's ceramic. Oh, it's a clear ceramic. That's good stuff right there. Oh, and it feels. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk more about this nib right here a little bit later in the show. But this nib it's heroic. Let's just put it that way. This pen is heroic. I'm hoping that it reaches everyone soon. This is gonna be great. I can't wait for people to get this in their hands, and they will soon. What else we got here? Let's go to the stories, shall we? Wait, that didn't work. All right, so the first story we got here is going to be Gemini. So we got a lot of Gemini news. So a lot of Gemini news came out over the last couple of days. So first thing we're going to do is start off with new coding and writing tools plus generated podcasts. So Gemini added a few things, and these things that it added are free to everyone now. So these things I'm talking about right now, the new plugins that they've added, the new podcast feature that they've added, and we talked about the podcast feature on the live before. So we've done a live demonstration of the podcast feature here, to where we basically we put in a manual for the Supernote. So we took the Supernote manual and we fed it to. At that time, this was a feature that was only available in, what tool were we using? We were using Google, Notebook LM. At that time, this is only a tool that was available in Notebook LM. So it was very cool demonstration of what it could do, and it handled the questions that we threw at it well. It handled putting together a podcast based on that manual very well. So that was a very good demonstration we did. One of the rare live demos we did that worked out well. Through any event, that was a paid feature at that point. Now those features are, not only in Notebook LM for free, they're also now in just the vanilla Gemini tool that you use for free. Also, Gemini is now not only free to use, but you can use Gemini without a Google account. So you can just go to Gemini.com and a Gemini prompt will come up just like OpenAI's ChatGPT does. So it's gonna act much in the same way. You don't have to log into an account. It's gonna be free for everyone to use. And this podcast tool is one of those tools. It's gonna be free for everyone to use. So definitely, if you're interested in getting information in a new way, it works really well. And not only will it create a podcast for you, you can ask it questions. So that's going to be very cool. What else we got here for Gemini news? We just talked about the Gemini without an app sign in. And I just talked about Google Gemini. They're also going to be retiring the assistant, which is why I started talking about the internet not working right. Because the Wi-Fi extension Puck is based off, it has assistant in it, and that thing hasn't worked well for a long time. So I'm assuming maybe the Wi-Fi in that system is being affected by whatever they're doing with that product. I don't know. I just know that it's not working right, and it hasn't worked right in a while. The AI or the internet on it. So anyway, just my 2 cents on that. But they are retiring Google Assistant, so you will be able to get more consistent AI information, because Google Assistant is trash, and it's gotten progressively worse over the years. It used to be a lot better than what it is now. So if you've used Google Assistant in the past and you're using it today, you notice a difference in how well it handles questions and what it's available to tell you. Going to the chat, we got Mr. Media. I can't wait to purchase this clear ceramic nib. Yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. We're going to talk more about that in the show as well. Just to give some more information about that. But yeah, and I'm using this the right way today. So I've been using it for the last few days, and we'll talk about it. Through any event, so they're retiring Google Assistant, thank God, and they're going and replacing it with Gemini, and I think that's that's a bit hit or miss with me because I'm like, this is only for mobile devices right now. To where they're just, let's get this going. To where they're just allowing or replacing Google Assistant with Gemini on mobile platforms. Now, this isn't going to be a replacement for Gemini on the speakers like what I just talked about. So if you have a Nest Wi-Fi hub like I do, or if you have a regular Google speaker that's AI enabled with Assistant, that won't change. That's going to have the same dumb, degrading assistant we've had for the last 5 years on it. It's so weird because I'll say, hey, blank, and hoping that my phone picks up first over the speaker. Like, I think it's some kind of programming that tells the speaker, if you hear that, even if a phone is nearby, the speaker takes precedence. So it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. So I have to whisper. So when I want my phone to answer the Gemini questions, I have to be like, I have to put the phone up to my mouth and be like, hey Google. Hey Google. Oh, I can't hear me. Hey Google. Hey Google. Oh, if I say it too loud, the speaker's going to hear me. Hey, Google. Hello, Google. Oh, it's going to make me say it too loud. Anyway, I have to whisper to it. And as you can tell, it doesn't even work. Anyway, yeah, I'll be glad when they switch everything over to Gemini and get rid of Assistant entirely. Like, I don't even know how a device or a product goes from being great really, to being trash over time. It's like reverse engineered greatness. I don't know. Anyway, I don't like it. CJ says, does it work on iPhone? Yes. So Gemini will work on iPhone, and Gemini will be replacing Google Assistant on iPhone. Because if you download the Google app, the search app on iPhone, you get Assistant by default with that. Now you'll get Gemini as default with that app on iPhone. All right, so let's go on to the what else do we have here? Let's go on to the next story we got. We got some actually, you know what, did we talk about? No, we didn't talk about the collaboration tools on Gemini. So continuing on this Gemini news, I think there we go. So I came across a couple of stories when researching the new Gemini tools, and I came across more than my fair share, enough stories to make me think that this is a real thing. And then not only a real thing, but that I've experienced it myself, to where people are really appreciating the self-initiating aspect of Google Gemini. Let me explain. So, just like what the headline here says, I didn't think I'd have any use for ChatGPT deep research. Oh, whoa, this is the wrong one. Wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong one too. Whoa. Okay, wrong one. So there was a article that I came across. I'm trying to. So this isn't the article I was looking for. So there was an article I had queued up, and I'm not sure where it is now. I must have gotten rid of it by accident. So basically, there was an article written by a guy at Tom's Hardware, a site I respect their information a lot. Basically, he was talking about Canvas and how the version of Canvas that's on Gemini, to him, is better than the version of Canvas that's on in ChatGPT. And if you don't know what Canvas is basically a software tool that helps you with your writing. It's a writing assistant, if you will. It critiques you on your writing. It critiques you on your grammar. Gives you suggestions. Gemini, that plugin, if you will, has been added to Gemini, and it self-initiates. Whereas, like a lot of tools, and this is one of the things that guy was bringing up in the article, is that, and the Tom's Hardware article, is that Canvas and ChatGPT, it would take your information in, and then you'd have to come up with ways to use it, right? You'd have to come up with ways you would like to see AI work with the information. But when he used Canvas on Gemini, Google's AI, he said it was more beneficial to him just because it initiated actions on the information that he had put in. So, for instance, when he put it in ChatGPT, he had to come up with ways to use the data. When he put the information into Gemini, Gemini asked him questions like, okay, would you like us to do this with the data? Would you like to see this? These are some similarities or characteristics of this data that we've noticed. Would you like to see this in a graph? It takes action on your data. I can even take that further into my own example. So right now, I'm improving the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord for the Rants About Tech YouTube channel, definitely look into it. If you're a member of the channel already, there's a poll or a link, a members post, and there's a link for invitation there. You can find a way to the Discord there, or you can just go to Discord right now. I think it's closed to the public right now, so you can only get there by invitation. Yeah, if you want in, you'll be able to do that even without YouTube very shortly. But I'm working on roles right now for the Discord, and just in preparation for opening up the Discord to everyone. And I had to write down all of the roles, and then I had to write down all of the permissions, and make a graph, not a graph, but a spreadsheet of all of that. Just so I can display that for the members, just so I can display it for people who are looking into becoming a subscribing member of the Discord. So they'll know what the different tiers are and what's available in those different tiers. So I'm putting all of that into a spreadsheet right now. And what I did was I put it into a Google Docs spreadsheet. And because I pay for Workspace, I have Gemini in all of my documents, right? It takes action on everything. So this is something I noticed for a long time that other people are just starting to notice, I guess, is that Google's AI is good in that it says contextually, what do I have here? How would it benefit the user to see this information? How can I present this information in a useful way? What's the most useful correlations in this information? And then it presents you with that. You don't have to prompt it. It just gives you that information. Like last night when I was working with it, I was working in a spreadsheet, making roles and picking what permissions each role has, right? And just so I can see a bird's eye overall view of it. As soon as I got done putting that information in there, Gemini started working on it. It made a graph of the role distribution throughout, or the role permissions throughout the role, or the permission distribution throughout the roles. It showed me on a graph, and it even gave me suggestions like you might want to level some of the permissions out and spread them out more through the roles, because I noticed I noticed 90% of your permissions are in these particular roles. And I'm like, wow, I never even thought about that. It listed how many roles I had, how many permissions each role had. It was just really useful information that I didn't even think that I would need, or wanted, or could use for that matter. I used all of it. It was all useful. And so based off what it gave me, it made me think of other ways I could use that data. So I started asking it other questions on that data, questions I never would have even thought to ask it, but based off its reaction to me putting the information in there, giving me contextualized information based off that data, I was able to think about that data in a different way. So very useful when AI takes action on your data without you having to prompt it. And I think that's what the difference that a lot of the people's articles that I've been reading lately is kind of trying to explain. BM says, my AI is rant about tech and the community. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to be the druid. Druids are like nature-based beings, right? Oh, or are we talking about AI-based? A combination? What do they call that? When you're bionic, but human and machine? I forget. I'm sure someone will let me know in chat. All right, so I thought that was super interesting. A super interesting take on Gemini and They're a collection of tools. And matter of fact, let's kind of look at what they've. I think that's what they've added. But let's take a look at what they've added here. We're gonna look at Gemini tools collection. And they don't really have a collection of all of the tools here. So if I find a collection of all of those, we'll go over them. But suffice to say, at least they've added Canvas compatibility for writers and for coders, because Canvas is used for people who write code as well. And the collaboration tools, and they've added the audio podcasts to Gemini. So 2 very good, useful collaboration tools they've added there. Let's go on to the new AirPods situation. All right, so Apple has released new AirPods, and we talked about that on Monday's show, and I alluded to the fact that we'd be talking more about the new AirPod. AirPod 4s with active noise cancellation. There's a commercial with an actor I like a lot. So, Roll in Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry. He's got Dungeons and Dragons going along with the Rants About Tech pod. Classic. I love it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm interested in this because the AirPods have been offering a lot lately. And yeah, let's see what they have here with this particular commercial. And I might be able to hear this. My headphones may be alive today. It's hard to say. I'll be ready for this show totally one day. One day you're coming in this show and everything will be clicking. Not today. All right, let's see what we got here. Now, it's not lost on me that the sound kind of deadened after he turned around to look at the lady. Pedro's my dude. Okay, sound back. Of course, the infamous one headphone in. Okay, what? Wait, how long is this? How long is this? It's a 5-minute. This ain't a commercial? 5 minutes? What? This is a movie. It's a short film.
Noches la policía sigue mis sueños.
I'm looking for the train station. It's 2 blocks up and then you turn right.
No, I don't think so. Hold on a second.
What? The ending of this better be good. The ending better be good. What is going on here? Hold on. You know what we got to do to make this a little more interesting? What it is? We got to bring in eInk for some side commentary on this. Some side commentary on these AirPods. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Holy. What is it? Oh yes. I'm inviting you up, eInk, so you can give me some commentary on this, so we can talk together about these AirPods. If you're there. All right, let's go back to the video. Oh, yeah. I think we got you.
Sigue mis sueños.
Ah.
I'm looking for the train station.
Ah. Okay. All right. Hold on. I think say something else, eInk. Hello.
Me? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Okay, we got you now. All right. My bad. All right. So you weren't available then. So say that one more time.
So basically, it's illustrating the noise cancellation feature with one touch of your earphones. You can set it to where you're not listening to the world around you. Everybody kind of fades into the distance. But if you need it, you
Ah.
just push your button and you can hear again.
Ah. Okay. All right. That right there. What would you say that it works like that? How is a noise cancellation?
Absolutely excellent. I love
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works actually the opposite for me. So it actually turns on my hearing and it turns it off when I don't need it. So if I get overloaded by what's going on, because there's so much new noise in my hearing aids, I can turn on
Uh,
the noise cancellation, kind of reset my brain, and then pay attention to what's going on around me and then turn it back on. It works great.
nice, nice, nice. All right. Well, let's see what else we got here in the actual commercial here.
2 blocks up and then you turn right.
No, I don't think so. Hold on a second.
This dude's like, I don't think so. Oh, someone said, who said that? CJ says he's the actor of Last of Us. If you didn't get the reference, so what was that Last of Us reference? I didn't catch that. Did you get that, Sheen?
I did. He's all alone. He's the last of us. His world is darkness. And then he turns on his AirPods and it's not anymore.
Okay, okay. See, I'm glad you guys are here to explain this to me. All right, let's continue on with it.
Oh no!
Where have you
Right
been?
away.
Right away. We're into it. So that's a yes for Saturday or a no?
I will be there.
All right, don't flake. Don't flake. Glad to have you back. Love you.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. We got something here. We got something here now. This is, I mean, obviously it's a lot of different things going on here. This is a very layered commercial. If you, again, this is a short story to me. I mean, I don't even know if I can call this a commercial, but very layered. Very layered.
Cause I want to. One time for the girls that's marching forward. 2 times for the boys that's walking forward. 3 times for the ones do what they want to. Each time
Nice, nice. So Sheen was just telling me though, like her take on the versatility of the versatility of the AirPods. I'm gonna might try to make it so you guys can hear even Discord, even when I'm in this thing, even when I'm in like a different window. I haven't figured it out yet. Next live, we'll have that figured out. But she was just giving me some information on her take of the layeredness of this commercial, which she agrees it's definitely a layered commercial.
set my soul on fire from. All of the things I want, I'm willing to die for. Die for.
Or maybe even the different aspects of these headphones, right? Not just for music. So yeah, that's something I'm taking away from this as well.
I can do what I want to. I'm so nonchalant too. We global from LA to Paris, São Paulo.
Eu faço o que eu quero, eu sou muito louco. Tô no mundo inteiro, São
Yo, they going all out. They are. They are. Yeah, he really shouldn't dance. Oh my goodness. I'm with you, Sheik. He definitely should not dance. They just went too far with that. They went too far with that one. Okay, it went from being interesting and layered to just creepy. Okay, that's just where I'm at right now in my head. Yeah. Okay. They should have had a body double for the dancing part. Yeah, they're doing a lot, Sheen. They're doing a lot. Yeah, I always used to body double when I dance too. I got one dance move. That's the two step, and my two step needs work. So yeah, that's all I got. I got the spirit fingers too. I can, yeah, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I got it.
Oh boy, we gonna have to talk about this Sheen. What? Now we're back to ice. This is a long commercial. You know what I actually thought when I started this? I thought this will be interesting to watch. I haven't seen it. I love the guy, the actor. Let's see what happens. They may do some technically advanced stuff on here. They may display some features that I have never seen. That's not what this is at all. That's not what this is at all. Apple was like, "You think we're gonna pay millions of dollars to this dude to be in our commercial and then show the technology?" Calm down. We're making a movie over here. They hired the Coen brothers to direct. They hired the writer from Game of Thrones to do the screenplay. Okay, that was interesting. Okay, She-Ink. Let's talk about this for a second. You still there?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right. So now, commercial or movie? Which category does that fall in for you?
5 minutes of my life I'm never getting back.
Yeah. God, it's just like, what are they doing? I literally thought they were gonna show like, yeah, the actor, right? But then the actor using the tech, showing how he uses it, or showing some features that they think are underused or are really good. I don't know. That didn't happen. Didn't happen at all.
Yeah, they kind of went with the exposition there of
Yeah.
The Last of Us. So his world is cold and icy, and then he remembers what it used to be like, and the tech takes him there until he comes back to his sad, depressing reality, and he walks off into the depressing world of Apple. What are you doing?
Yes, but you know what though? I'm glad that you and CJ are here to explain this to me today because I didn't get that Last of Us reference. So it makes more artistically, it makes more sense to me knowing that. So thank you for sharing that bit of information. But yeah, artistically, it makes more sense. But I think it's more of a short story. And you're right, 5 minutes we'll never get back.
Yes, but it does illustrate very well the way that I use it during the day. I can I was talking to Katie Cakes about this, but with ADD, you have lots of things going on in your head all the time.
Hmm.
And using technology enables me to really tune into what I need to, especially now that I'm hearing so much more.
Hmm.
And I really think they should have talked to someone who uses the technology that way, and maybe the commercial would have meant a little bit more.
And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen, to be honest with you. And that's a really good point. And for those who don't know, She Inc. uses her AirPods as a hearing enhancing device.
Hearing assistance device.
Okay, there we go. Hearing assistant device, and she loves it. Like, and we talk a lot about how well lately we've been talking some about how technology and the humanities are like at a crossroads. And like I said, I think might have mentioned this before in a live where Apple says it a lot. They're like at the crossroads of tech and humanity, and that's never made sense to me ever until I met you and your use case for the AirPods. That now it makes perfect sense to me. And that's kind of what I thought they would kind of display here, just like what you were just saying. All right, you guys.
That would have made sense if they went that way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll be showing the tech, and like you said, it's one of those features that it hits home with a lot of people. It hits home with a lot of people. And used in a way that's advantageous, not just for entertainment, but that's helpful. I don't know. That really means a lot to me for sure. I think that's it for the AirPods there. She Inc., I really appreciate you being here for that. I'm gonna go back over and finish the rest of these stories. I will be right back. All right, you guys. Next thing we got on the list would be the new Pebble Watch. So let's go ahead. The new Pebble Watch. I don't know if you guys have seen this. But let's take a look at it right now. I'm gonna let you know I'm not impressed. So the new Pebble Watch watches have been shown. They aren't shipping yet. It says today the company's founder Eric Majikovsky has unveiled new hardware running open source Pebble OS. However, the Google's owns the Pebble trademark. These are not Pebble smartwatches. Instead, say hello to the first watches from a new brand called Core Devices. So this is the spiritual successor to the Pebble line of watches, and they're calling it the Core Devices. So Core 2 Duo and Core Time 2. So the Core 2 Duo is, from what I understand, a spiritual successor to the Pebble, and what is this other one called? The Core Time 2 is a successor to another watch that they never released that they were working on. I forgot the name of it though. Let's see if they mention the name of that here. I don't think they mentioned the name of that watch that was in development at Pebble before they went under. Yeah, it doesn't say here. Anyway, there was a watch that they had that was under development at Pebble before they went under, and the Time 2 is going to be a successor to that particular device. Like I said, I'm not really interested in the design of it. It doesn't look all that interesting to me. It's cool, right? But because it's eInk, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a color eInk device over there. There aren't a lot of like really granular specs about this particular watch. But I am going to keep my eye on this and go through as much information as I can on it to get some specs and details. But these are eInk displays that are on these particular watches. And like I said, I want to say that's a color eInk display on the other one here. What they're using for that, I'm not really sure yet. But like I said, I'll get more details and get those out to you guys. But the concept of the watch looks cool. Looking at it now, I'm like, it doesn't look that cool. I don't know. We got takes on this, chat. A beautiful story. What product is this in reference to? High five at eInk. I'm an ADD boy. Yeah. Oh, this was in reference to just going to the chat here for Mr. Mike. That last AirPod story was just in reference to the AirPod Pro 2s, I think. The AirPods have been FDA approved for hearing assistance. And I think that's an awesome thing for consumer technology, because a lot of these devices that are medical devices, the medical version of these devices can be thousands of dollars, whereas, you can get a pair of the AirPods for a couple hundred. So a very useful tool, and not just for entertainment. I might wear a watch like this too, Sheen. Matter of fact, let's get your take. Since you're here, let's get your take on this, Sheen. We're coming back over here. We're coming back to the live. What's your take on this, Sheen? What do you think? Oh, is she muted up? Oh, she probably muted up. Okay, all right, we're going back. Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at. I just don't know if it's design wise enough to capture people's imagination. I mean, I'd buy it because it's eInk, right? But in order for this to take off like the Pebbles needed to, I think they need a design that's a little more striking. Yeah, it's chunky. It's definitely chunky. All right, let's go on to the next story we have here, which is going to be policy. So Amazon's, what do we got here? In 10 days, the Amazon Echo users will lose an option they might not have known they had to process requests on the device locally. So what that means is that when you talk to your Amazon Echo device, it would process what you're saying locally on the device. So if it was anything that it could do locally, it would do it locally, like answering questions for you. Now this information will be processed in the cloud. So you won't have the option to have your Amazon Echoes process what you're doing and saying to it on device. And what does that mean? It means that now everything you say will be accessible by Amazon. Not like it wasn't before, but at least it was on your device. If they wanted to access it, they would have to access your device. Now, if they want to access your information, they've already got it. So it'll be already on their servers. So this was a interesting. Oh, there we go. And this is the headline I was reading from Odyssey right here. Amazon is removing the Echo privacy settings and basically removing the ability to do any of its computation locally on device. All cloud-based now. So interesting tidbit you may or may not have wanted to know about the Amazon Echo. And I think this obviously is great timing to coincide with their launch of their new AI assistant, right? Because as far as I understand, the new Echoes are the only devices that are launching with this new AI. If you don't have one of the new Echoes, you have to sign up for a early access for to get use of the Amazon AI, the new Amazon AI. The new AI tools in Alexa, put it that way. So this is good timing to kind of coincide with them launching that product. And now that they've launched AI on this improved AI on the Echo, they're also saying, okay, now that you got the new AI on your Echo, we want to collect all that data that you're going to be giving to the new AI. We want it. So this is basically what they're doing, or basically what's happening here. CJ says, I was interested until I read they won't get along with the iPhone on the Mashable article. Yeah, there's a lot of uphill battles with this new Pebble Watch. The design being one of them. You point out a very good point there, CJ, and something I was going to mention as well, but forgot to mention. But I'm glad you saw it there. Compatibility with iPhone will be limited. So it's fighting an uphill battle. Sheen says, agree, CJ. That seems like a real miss. They would. Why wouldn't they want it to work with such a popular device? Yeah, and like CJ said, it's probably more about the closed ecosystem, the walled garden that Apple has going on. Yeah, I'm not happy about the Echo Collect and everything either, Sheen. Yeah, I think there's 2 here in the apartment. Yeah, listening all the time. Just storing everything you're saying right on their cloud servers. But anyway, I think that's the way of life right now. That's why I want Google AI to kind of succeed, and A, because they're a pioneer of AI, and B, they already have my data, all of it. I just want them to do something cool with it, since they're going to be collecting it anyway. You know what I mean? All right, let's go on to the next story we got here. All right, next thing up we got here is going to be the Samsung One UI 7 coming in March, says The Verge here. Samsung has announced that One UI 7, its smartphone software based on Android 15, will start rolling out to existing phones and Let's try this again. Samsung's One UI 7 is rolling out to Galaxy phones in April. I gotta start switching over to the screen. Samsung has announced that One UI 7, its smartphone software based on Android 15, will start rolling out to existing phones and tablets from April 7th worldwide, with its US rollout slightly later on April 10th. In the US, the update will first arrive in 2024's Galaxy S24 models, along with the Fold 6 and Flip 6 handsets, with other smartphones and tablets to follow. So far, those are confirmed to include the S23 series, the S24 FE and S23 FE, the Fold 5 and Flip 5, and the Tab S10 and Tab S9 lines. So those are all the devices that will be getting a version of the One UI 7. Along with updating phones to Android 15 and other fewer interface tweaks, One UI 7 is primarily a AI update. It deepens Google's Gemini integration, making it the default assistant, enabling multi-app actions. Natural language support or search comes to the phone's settings app, while the Now bar adds dynamic widgets to the lock screen. Samsung's various AI tools have also received performance updates, along with the addition of new audio eraser, and can eliminate various types of noise from videos. All right, so that's an interesting take on One UI. Has always been interesting to me. I'm waiting for the day that Samsung does a One UI without, like, a stripped down One UI without all the bloatware, without all their extra and sometimes third party software that they pack in the phone with the operating system. I'm hoping that one day I'm holding out for one day they do a vanilla One UI, like how Google does. Matter of fact, I don't think Google does it anymore, because I think Android is just stripped down as it can be. But back in the day, Android used to ship with a lot of bloatware as well. So much so that Google released a version of Android called the Android Google Play Edition, to where it was just a stripped down version of Android, no bloatware, no nothing, just native Android apps that you needed to run the phone and services. It was awesome. But anyway, yeah, One UI rolling out in April to those Galaxy users if you're interested in that. eInk news, I think, is what we got up next. Let's go ahead and... I knew it. Ed is like convinced me I need a Steam Deck. I got to get one of those things. I think it might make life a little bit easier from switching systems and things like that over. All right, so second half of the show. Wow, it's been an hour. This is the second half of the show. All right, second half of the show. Discord news. I've been making some changes to the Discord for people who are here that are in the Discord. And if you're seeing this replay after the fact, there's some changes being made to the Discord where, like I said earlier, I made a role spreadsheet. So I'm getting roles down for when we open the Discord up to everyone, so that those will be in place and there won't be any confusion going on there. Check your privileges in Discord if you're here. If you're a member of the Discord and you have privileges, check your privileges to make sure I didn't mess anything up. Make sure the privileges that you want and you are used to using are still there. If they're not, we can fix that. Like I said, I've been making a lot of changes, so in an effort to make sure I didn't break anything, you guys just check your privileges to make sure everything's good. Everything should be good. Not that there should be a problem, but just in case. What else? YouTube linking accounts. So if you're inclined to, if you're a person that says, I don't mind linking my YouTube account, you have the ability to do that now. And I encourage you to do that. But if you're someone who's like, no, I don't want to connect my YouTube account to Discord, that's fine. No pressure. Just if you're okay with that, it's there. Please do. What else we got here? Oh, I'm adding tiers to the Discord to coincide with the tiers I'm going to add with YouTube. So there's going to be 2 more YouTube tiers I'm going to be adding. Elite or VIC, which is very important crew, and then elite crew. So there'll be crew, very important crew, and elite crew. So I'm making tiers in Discord to coincide with those. Those will be coming within the next month or so. But I just want to throw a heads up out there so when people see things changing, they're like, okay, I knew this was coming. What else we got here on the updates here? We got Note Max stuff. So let's talk about that. So Jay in the Discord threw some information I thought was very interesting that I wanted to pass on about the Note Max keyboard. He may or may not do a video on this. I encourage him to do a video. I think it would do very well. Showing how it fixed it. It would be very awesome if he had video showing it broken. I think he does have video showing the spacebar not working well. But anyway, he says that he got a new Note Max case for his Note Max or keyboard cover. And he says, no problem. Spacebar works perfectly. He has no issues with it. So apparently they fixed the Note Max problem with the type folio or the keyboard folio or the keyboard case, whatever you want to call it. The thing with the keyboard that you enclose your tablet in. They fixed it. Let's go to the chat real quick. Mr. Mike says, I better be top tier, brother. You're always top tier, Mr. Mike. You're part of the OC. The tiers are weird. So let's explain the tiers real quick. So the tiers are weird in that if you're OC, you're almost like you're on elite crew level, if that makes sense. So I didn't mention that tier. So there's a tier called OC, original crew. So if you're part of the OC, and if you're in the Discord now, you are a part of the OC. Then you get the same privileges as someone in the elite tier, with the exception of one thing, which is video. So the elite tier only has one thing that the OC doesn't. Well, and that's video. But the OC has some things that the elite tier won't have. So almost it's like if you're elite tier, you don't, or if you're OC, you don't need to be elite. Kind of like you will have all those features. And more, with the exception of one, and that's video. So you're straight. Yeah, Note Max is next. Thank you. Oh yeah, Note Max. It's getting better all the time with that fix of the keyboard cover. I think that's going to be. I think that, that's one less thing to gripe about. Always good. Mr. Mike says this is basically the same only thing that I have. Life. This is all right. This is all I got too. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. Some of us just don't have lives. This is just what we do, and this is just what I do. My life is disc golf, eInk, YouTube, Discord. Lately, it's been just Discord is my life. I can't wait to finish working on this Discord so I can move on to making videos full time again. It's like so many other things that have taken precedence. Products, Discord. But it's literally in my mind, when I get back to like video making full time, like putting out 2 and 3 videos a week, and I will go back to that because I'm just trying to get this is what I'm doing now is like getting the infrastructure together. I started doing videos, did well, and then I created a group of people I like hanging around with. Created the Discord for us to do that. And now I'm just making sure that that's in place, making sure other things are in place. Website too. So when I start like making videos full time again, I'm saying full time again, like I ever stopped. I'm still making videos, but putting out 2 and 3 like I used to a week. All those other foundational things will be put in place, and that's kind of like what I'm hoping to do is have all these other things in place when I go back to the videos like 2 or 3. And so when I talk about Discord, when I talk about the website, when I talk about all these other things, they're all done. You know, people can just partake and enjoy those things versus having to wait for me to do those things. They'll already be in place. And that's what I'm trying to get set. I'm trying to set the foundation for those things happening right now. Strong foundation. There we go, Mr. Mike. There we go. So that's what I'm doing right now. Setting a good foundation for the eInk community with the Discord, the site, the products. So then the videos will just kind of promote those things and bring more people to the Discord and bring more people to reading the stories on the site and the Reddit. I'm working on the Reddit as well. So a lot of those foundational things. I see YouTube as the main thing, and all these other things are just the foundational things that will prop up the YouTube stuff. So that's the hope. And that's what I'm going to do. So it's just kind of a roundabout way of doing it. I can only focus on one thing at a time. I wish I could do multiple. That's just not how I am. I pour everything I have into what I'm working on at the moment. And it's hard to stop until it's done. All right. What else we got here? We got the new Lamy. All right. So let's talk about the nib. Let's talk about this new nib here. Oh, there we go. Let's talk about this new nib here. Can we see this? Is the camera still focusing on it? Oh, I gotta bring it down for it to focus on it. Okay, there we go. All right, so if you can see this here, this is the new nib that I've been talking about for quite a while now. I'm gonna get these into the hands of a couple of people in the Discord so they can try them and give me some feedback for a week or two. And then we'll talk way more about them in detail, and I'll get their input, and we'll have them on the live as well to talk about their experience with it when we get to that point. But this right here is a ceramic nib. It's a clear ceramic nib. It's not the same ceramic that Supernote uses. As you guys know, there's a category of ceramics: heated glass and heated. Well, I'm about to say sand. Sand is glass. Heated silica. Double fused is what this is. And it has a couple of properties. So it's super durable. And I'm equating this to porcelain when I talk about this. Because porcelain is what I think Supernote's using, even though I don't know that 100%. They have no documentation on that as what they're using. They just call it a ceramic and that's it. But anyway, there's maybe porcelain, which is what I think it is. But this is fused quartz here. It's chemically harder than porcelain. It polishes to a smoother surface, and yeah, it's clear, which I like a lot. And it works really well. So what I'm gonna do is do a demonstration of it writing here. I have this in my Lamy ERM pen, by the way. So this is going to be in that particular pen. So let's go ahead and do a writing demonstration. So we got the Go 10.3 here. Now there's a couple things. I'm going to talk about a couple characteristics that I noticed already about this. And I'm not sure you'll be able to hear. You probably won't be able to hear the differences here. But let's grab the harder metal. So we got the harder metal 2 here, the Samurai. And this harder metal pen right here, I'm just going to write and let you hear what it sounds like, okay? I'm going to put the mic down here, just so you guys can hear what this sounds like. I'm going to just tap on the screen just to get a sound difference. And this is the other nib that I have here. All right, and let's do a writing sample here. And this is the sound where they're just scribbling. This is the harder metal. And this is the new nib. You notice it sounds a little quieter, a little more muted. Let's try that again. Harder, back to the harder metal. And back to the new nib. So you can see it sounds more muted than the typical ceramic nib that we find here. Sounds a little more muted, and I like that. Deadening the sound is good, in my opinion. Now, we're just going to go with, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Wow, it doesn't... Okay, so it won't let us get rid of that, but what we'll do is use this to get rid of that. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm just going to write with the nib, the clear nib here. Whoa, that wasn't what I wanted at all. It sounds a lot more muted, I'm telling you. I don't know. It sounds more muted, and it feels softer. That's hard to explain too. I'm really interested in getting these into the hands of a couple of testers so I can see how they feel. If they also feel that it feels softer, like it's a very weird experience. But anyway. All right, so that's the writing. That's how it sounds and looks writing on it. So it works perfectly. Sounds really good. Feels really good. Now I'm gonna say this. As a matter of fact, let me go grab it. Now, the first thing I tried. One of the first things I tried once I put the nib inside the Lamy was something that, what the heck? Was something that I would never do, man. It's something that I would never do. Wrong cable. Typically. But because okay, are we back? Oh my goodness. I think okay, I think we're back. All right. My bad. I don't know what's going on, but we're good now. I was writing on this remarkable. So I would never write, I do write on this remarkable with this pen right here. I don't like it though. I've said this many a time. I don't like how the Supernote ceramic feels on the remarkable device. I mean, I've said that. Okay, my remarkable is losing its mind. I've said that many a times to where I don't like the way the ceramic feels on the remarkable. But I absolutely love how this feels on the remarkable. And I don't know if you guys remember me saying that at all, but I have said that on many occasions where it just feels terrible. It sounds really bad. I've even got a writing sample test video on my channel where I'm writing test video on the channel where I'm doing a writing test with a bunch of different pens, nib types on different surfaces of tablet. And I remember saying distinctively in that video, I don't like the way the ceramic feels on the Remarkable. I would use the ceramic on every other device except for the Remarkable because it doesn't feel good and doesn't sound good. This, though, to me, looks and sounds good. I don't know why my Remarkable is like not starting. I don't want to. Please, Remarkable, don't not work today. But anyway, yeah, it's still not charged, huh? And this is a fast charge cable I have on here. I don't know what's going on with this. It was working perfectly last night. So in the event, though, we'll do a sound. We'll do a sound test with the Remarkable. I never liked the way the ceramic sounded on the Remarkable, but this sounds a lot better. Heart of Metal right here. And the new ceramic. Like, hear the difference? So, and it feels a lot better. It doesn't feel so rugged. It's a very complicated experience, but yeah, I wish I could write. I wish I could write on this Remarkable, but I'm gonna have to let it charge for a while, and that may not last the lot, or may not be able to do that on the live show. But suffice to say, I've written a lot on the Remarkable 2 with this particular nib, and it feels great. So I guess the takeaway from this is that the nib that I've been commissioning to make is working. It's working great. It feels great. It sounds great. It looks great. I'm supremely happy with it. I mean, like I said, I can't wait to get this into the hands of a couple people to test out. Those people know who they are, I think, already. But in about a week, I will get these out to people to test other than myself. And then we'll get some real-time feedback on the live with those people to see what's going on with it. See what they think. All right, what else we got here on the show? Let's go on to the next thing. The next thing we have is the last thing we have is going to be a drawing sample. So it's very weird, the Lamy pen here. So I was having a conversation with Aaron before the live stream today in the Discord about this particular Lamy and how, yeah, Aaron, it does kind of sound like the palm nib, right? It's so weird. I'm glad you said that. It does sound like the palm nib. And you know what's weird about that? It also feels like the palm nib if the palm nib were slightly harder and slightly finer. Because this is a 0.7 tip here. I think the palm is about a 0.9. But yeah, it does. That's the closest thing I can correlate this to is the palm nibs. And I love the palm nibs. As a matter of fact, I've said many a time, even on this live show, that the palm nib is the only nib you should use if you have a Remarkable. In my mind. If you have I'm going to be suggesting this nib right here if you got a Remarkable. No cap. I'm going to be suggesting this nib right here if you have a Remarkable because it fits in the Remarkable pen. I've tried it already. It fits in the Remarkable pen. It sounds like the palm, just like Aaron just said. It feels similar to the palm in that it feels softer than it feels softer. This ceramic feels softer than normal ceramic. I don't know why it even though it's harder, it's more durable. It feels softer. So I don't know. It's hard to explain, man. That's why I'm so anxious to get this into the hands of a few people so I can get their take on it. Maybe they can articulate it in a better way than I can. But yeah, that's the hope anyway. But anyway, let's go on to the drawing. So the drawing is something I wanted to display and have been wanting to display for a while. So let's go ahead and talk about drawing on the Go 10.3 with the Lamy. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Lamy in specific. So this Lamy right here that I'm using here is it writes a lighter line. So let's demonstrate that really quickly. And we've talked about this on the live a few times as well. So right now I use this pen right here, which is a pen that is not pressure sensitive, right? So if you pick that pen right there, every utensil you use is going to write the same way. So that was the Lamy that right there. This is the harder metal. So every pen you use is going to write the same way when you use a pen on your device that doesn't have pressure sensitivity, which is what I love. So if you're using multiple pens, like what I do, I use the harder metal, I use the Lamy, I got a couple other, I got a Vista back there. I got the clickable deal. I got a Boox with a ceramic nib in it. It's a Boox I got from Dan from New York. So it's a special Boox pen for me. It's not just simple land for track. It has an eraser on that pen. That pen's nice. Anyway, I use a multitude of pens. So to get a consistent line thickness, I use a pen setting that doesn't have pressure sensitivity. That means all of my lines, no matter what pen, is going to be super consistent. So on the Lamy, when I'm writing, I always use a non-pressure sensitive pen. But when I'm drawing, and that's because the Lamy writes a little lighter. So what we're going to do is we got a pressure sensitive pen right here. So this is how the line thickness of a pressure sensitive pen, like what we just chose here, with the heart of metal pen. It'll draw a super consistent dark line. Well, that's a 0.3. Let's make it a little bit more than that. Let's go to a 0.5. So a super consistent dark line, even with pressure sensitive pens chosen. The Lamy, though, with a pressure sensitive pen, will draw a lighter line, given the same amount of pressure. I think we can see that, right? Yeah. So given the same amount of pressure, the Lamy will draw a lighter line. Now, some people see that as a drawback, and it is a drawback if you want a consistently dark line. And to that, I would say, pick a non-pressure sensitive pen, problem solved. But if you like the pressure sensitive calligraphy pens and you like the aesthetic of that type of pen, you can boost the thickness up to kind of match the thickness of the harder metal with the Lamy. So that's an option to you. But like I said, I've reverted to only using non-pressure sensitive pens when I write. And if you use a multitude of different styli with your tablets, that to me is a really good option. Okay. So now when I'm writing with the Lamy here and a non-pressure sensitive pen, everything's great. When I go to draw, I use the pressure sensitive because the same reason I don't use the pressure sensitivity when I'm writing is the reason I use the pressure sensitivity when I'm not writing, when I'm drawing. So the pressure sensitivity could be a negative if you're writing because the line width the lines aren't as dark or thick, right? You can always change that in the settings. Just, by default, it's not as dark or thick. But when you're drawing, that is a bonus. Like that's a plus, right? And let's just show that really quickly. So we were talking about pi the other day. It was Pi Day the other day, right? 314. We didn't get into what pi actually was, right? But let's talk about that for a second, because this kind of plays into this conversation. Because this is what I think of when I think of what I'm about to show you with the pen. So this is a circle. So the diameter of that circle is one thing. Whoops. Let's get out of here. So the diameter of this circle, why? What the crap? All right. All right, so the diameter of the circle is one thing, right? Whatever that is for this particular circle. Or not, I said the diameter, the circumference. Is one thing, which is the measurement of the roundness of a circle, right? And that diameter, the distance from one end of the circle to the other, is another. Now, pi is the ratio, right? Well, I'm explaining a lot for no real reason. So pi is the ratio of the circumference over the diameter, right? It's the circumference diameter ratio. What ratio of the circumference is the diameter? And that ratio is pi. And that pi is what I think about when I think about this drawing example I'm about to show. Because pi isn't really a number that stops. It just keeps going. Non-repeating numbers that just keep going. Because there is no definite ratio of circumference to diameter for a circle. And pi is proof of that. And I kind of relate that to like video games, right? Also. So in a video game, you can have a curve or you can have a shape in a video game. That's like, I don't know, a person. They got a head, they got a neck, they got a body, and they got legs. Well, to make a circular head in a video game, you use polygons to make all things, right? Shapes, polygonal shapes. So in order to make that, So in order to make that head, they basically have to make a bunch of polygons, right? To make something. And then you add another polygon to this. And then you add even more polygons. So let me draw this in a better way to kind of illustrate it. I'm going to do a circle. All right, so if I want to make a circle, I have to make a bunch of like polygonal shapes. Multi-sided shapes is what I have to make if I want to make a circle in a video game. So I have to take that square, and then I can make another square here. Oops. Right, and now, I got two squares together trying to make a circle, and it doesn't look good now, but if I keep going, there we go. But if I keep going and make these shapes at every angle I can, and let's just do this over here. And if I just keep going and keep going and keep going, what else can we do? Oh, we can make one right here, right? All right, so now I have a bunch of triangles or a bunch of polygons inside of a circle. Now let's get rid of that circle and see what we have. So you can see that even though this isn't a perfect circle, you can see that if I keep adding these polygons in this kind of sequence, it will start to look like a circle, right? And that's how video games handle shapes. They just throw as many polygons as they can at a shape until that shape resembles the shape they're trying to get. That's essentially how 3D video games work. That right there is pi at work. This will play into drawing. I promise you, this plays into drawing. So this, what I just showed you with throwing a bunch of polygons trying to make a shape, will work if you say I draw 1 million of these polygonal shapes right here, that is going to make an even more circular circle. If I throw 2 million of those polygons into this shape, that'll make an even more circular circle. So the more polygons I throw at it, the more circular like the image becomes, right? I just need to throw a bunch of them at it. Pi says that I can throw an infinite amount of polygons at this circle to try to create a circle, and it will never ever be an actual smooth circle, but every polygon I add to it adds to how perfect this circle can be. It'll never be a perfect circle. Pi says that, but we can get close, right? Now, that was a long-winded thing right there. I'm sorry. We went into pi. But that's what I think of when I think of what I'm about to show you guys right now. Let's go to the chat before we do that. The Rock says, I see it as a positive. Lamy has the range to fully use pressure-sensitive pens. Yes, it is a positive. It's a negative only if it's a negative if you want to use calligraphy pens and you care about pressure sensitivity while you're writing. And it's a negative because people want a really dark pen. And like I said, you can always just that's just by default. You can always just bump the thickness up, right? And the problem solved. Actually, problem not solved. We'll talk about that in another video. But for the sake of this, now this is what I like about drawing on the Go 10.3 with the Lamy. First of all, you got the button here, and I'll show why that's important in a second. But let's go ahead and throw the pressure sensitivity on, and we're going to bump the sensitivity down a bit to 0.35. Now, when I draw, this is how I draw, and it helps me so much with not having to redraw something just to make a shape right, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. So when I do a prototype drawing, and I've been making tons of prototypes lately, this is what I do. I turn the pressure sensitive pen on at a really light sensitivity, or really light line thickness. Right now I'm at 0.35. And let's just say I want to draw let's go to a circle. Let's say I want to draw a circle. Now, I'm going to draw a circle like this. Now, that circle's okay, right? I mean, I can't freehand draw a perfect circle. Well, that circle's not bad. That circle's not bad at all. But oops. Oh, that's stroke erase. But let's go ahead and draw a circle that I want, or a shape that I want to look like something, right? So let's just we'll draw the back of the Manta. Let's do that. So in drawing the back of the Manta, we got the sides here. Now, I'm making a lot of lines, a lot of light lines. And if you notice, a lot of light lines will ultimately become a really dark line. That is the beauty of the pressure sensitivity on the Lamy, because it can do that. It can draw a super light line or a super dark line depending on how you want to write. So let's go back to the Manta. So we're drawing the back of the Manta. I'm drawing a bunch of really light lines to illustrate what I'm doing here. The Manta also has a kind of like dip under here where it's kind of like curved. And then it levels out, right? And this kind of, as a matter of fact, we can kind of connect this. Let's go ahead and connect that. Let's just box this off. We're going to just box it off. Now we're going to just draw that curvature in there. A bunch of light lines, right? Bunch of light lines. Now, we're going to draw the top of it. This is not going to be the scale, just so we know. Now we can draw the top of it here. There we go. Now, okay. All right. So now we got a basic shape here, right? A lot of little bitty lines that make up this drawing right here. Now, it's not perfect. But to me, it's the accumulation of lines that make this worth doing this way. Now, at this point, I have a couple of spots here that I don't need lines. Like, this is the shape right here. These lines right here, I can press this button right here, and because I've already selected my erase to be a stroke erase, like right here, I can just hold this button right here, and it becomes the stroke erase. Now when I'm drawing, I'm making these lines. Whoops, let's go back here. I can hold this button and get rid of lines here that I don't need. Now that I got my overall shape, I can just kind of hold this button and go back and get rid of these lines here. And you see what happens. I'm left, because of how I drew it with the very light lines making a darker line over time, I'm able to get rid of the stray lines that don't make up the shape and reshape this in the way that I want. You see how the lines that I don't want are just disappearing away? It's not taking away the whole structure because of the way that I drew it, with the very light lines accumulating into making a dark line. So then when I go and try to delete things or erase to reveal the structure that I was trying to make, and just like I'm doing here, just getting rid of these lines, these structural lines here. Typically, what I would have to do is, and see, now I'm left with that shape. Typically, what I would have to do is, to get this drawing without doing it that way, I draw. I have to draw this thing and get it right, and then do this kind of number and go up here and do that, or whatever the case. And say I didn't get the curve right here. I wouldn't be able, if I drew it this way, I wouldn't be able to just go and delete that line, because guess what happens? It takes away half the drawing. But if I drew it this way with a bunch of light, small lines, sketching it, making up that, now when I have to go and change something, it's as simple as just going to that area, deleting that area, and redrawing that area. Or like how I did this drawing right here, I had those structural lines, right? This was basically in a box, and then I got rid of those. I was able to get rid of those structural lines after I had the image that I wanted within that structure. So that's one of the beauties of the Lamy pressure sensitivity. It's a plus in a lot of ways, right? And using it this way in combination with the button there, it makes drawing stuff and editing and iterating on drawing so much easier. It makes it so much easier, I gotta say. Let's go ahead and go to the chat real quick. BM says, I loved how you explained the pyramids. Yeah, that was tough. I was bombing there for a second. But yeah, it explains the concept. And I think of that when I think of that drawing the bunch of little lines to make something big. That's what I think of, adding a bunch of polygons to create a circle. I don't know why that, and pi popped into my mind because pi is an example of that, right? That's why pi is an infinite number with no end and no repeatable digits, because no matter how many polygons you throw at a circle, you can always throw more at it. It can always be more perfect. Yeah. And it would never be perfect. Okay. All right. And what else we got here? Duroc says, that's a really cool technique for sketching. Never thought to use multi-little lines and stroke erase to subtract out the image. Yeah, that's how I've been drawing prototypes for the last month or two. And it's been such a game changer for me to rapidly iterate on drawings. You know, I made a mistake. I'm like, okay, I drew that corner as an oval, and it should have been squared off. I don't have to go and redraw that now. I don't have to erase the whole thing. I can just take that corner out and fix that corner. It's such a game-changing way to draw, Duroc, I'm telling you. And it's made even more possible by the sensitivity of the Lamy, because those lines can be so light and you can draw so many of them and kind of darken it in and sketch in that way. It's beautiful. I'm using that, then can finalize by adding a layer and using a non-pressure ballpoint or marker trace over There you go. Now you're thinking, The Rock. That's exactly what I do. After I have this, after I have that, you're exactly right. Add a layer. Now that you've added a layer, now you can go to that non-pressure sensitive pen or pencil, as I like to do sometimes, but pen. And now you can just trace over that. I'm gonna go ahead and do an example of that here. All right, now I'm going to go and delete that layer that I did the sketch on and see what we're left with. Or not delete it, but I'm going to hide it. And so you see we're left with that right there. Now, could I have done better? Yeah. Could I have carved out that sketch a little better? Yeah. But you guys get the point here. It's a very useful tool when you're doing drawings or sketches of any type. And consider this. I'll do that, right? The Rock, this is what I've been doing. I'll do that. So I'll have this. I'll have a layer for the actual drawing, and then I'll have another layer just for dimensions. So I'll like, this is, you see what I'm saying? And I have a layer just for dimensions. Now I can add dimensions to this. And now say I got something wrong, right? Say this corner right here is kind of messed up, and I'm like, I need to fix that corner. Now the dimensions don't have to be bothered, right? I can just take the dimensions away by just hiding that layer. Put myself on the layer where the drawing is, hide the sketch layer, and now I can go and fix this part over here if I wanted to. Say I wanted this to be round. Now I go back and I round that edge instead of it being squared off. Now I bring the dimensions back. And me doing what I did, if I were to brush over into the dimensions section, it wouldn't harm anything because the dimensions on a different layer. Marvelous. Straight marvelous. I love that. Yeah, I've been using that technique for a while now. Durock says, oh, Jay, what's going on, Jay? Let's get the air horns going for Jay up in here. Oh, I didn't want to record that. What's going on, Jay? Jay says, oh, I didn't miss it. Look at this guy being all drafty. Add another skill to the list. I'm telling you, he's Batman. Well, I mean, I did take drafting. I did take drafting. I was going to be a drafter in the military. That's it's so funny. I initially went into the military as a drafter. Well, I was supposed to be a drafter in the military, but they screwed me over. Instead of giving me drafting, they gave me combat engineer. Like, okay, whatever, dude. Like I was literally told I'd be a drafter, but I'm a combat engineer. Okay, whatever. The Rock says, it's funny, that's a purely digital technique. Can easily subtract out sketch strokes with paper and pencil. It's a true advantage of e-paper. 100%. If you're a drafter or a sketcher doing like your preliminary sketches, e-ink is the way to frickin' go, man. It is the way to go. Tactile, digital. I can rapidly iterate on that. I've been doing this for months. Rapidly iterating on drawings just on the fly. The original drawing, not a redraw. And like, it's so funny because now on my drawings that I do for prototypes, I don't have separate prototype or revision 1.0 and revision 1.2 or revision 1.3 because all my revisions are done to the same document. So what I have to do now is copy how it was or use how it was, copy it, and then I manipulate the copy. You know what I mean? Because there are no separate revisions. It's all the same revision. I just have to make separate copies. Something I'm learning on the fly, though. Yeah. But anyway, let's go on to the next thing we got here. I think we got something else here today. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. Who thought we'd be talking about pi and the circumference of a circle today? I didn't. But that's what I think of. And polygons when I think of the drawing technique. I don't know why that my brain, the synapsi, connect in weird ways. Synapses. They connect in weird. They fire. Neurons are firing. Connecting. Weird. I don't know what's going on in here. But that's it. This is gonna be the show for today. Man, that took 2 hours. It's 70 degrees outside. It's time for disc golf. Maybe even a little one wood a day. I'm telling you, this yogurt fixed my achalasia, you guys. I was going to cancel the show. Jay says, do you usually use a grid or not? No. Mm-mm. Sometimes. Actually, I don't use a grid. I use that dot template. A template with all the dots on it. That's what I use to kind of keep my lines straight. Yeah. No grids, just dots. Yeah, that works. This yogurt cured the achalasia today. Throw in a little honey. You got yourself a treat. A nutritious treat that will help medical conditions and prolong life. That third one I just made up. It could be true, it could not be. Who knows? All right. All right, everyone. That's going to be the show for today. Thank you guys for joining me. And anyone who missed it on Discord, Boox has absolutely fixed the keyboard. Oh, we talked about that a little bit. I'm hoping you make a video for that, Jay. The Rock says I don't usually fret over scale on technical sketches. I'll mark the dimensions and then let CAD do the real. Yeah, absolutely. I never worry about scale on technical drawings. You're right. I wait until I get into the modeling software and then I worry about that then. Make a technical drawing or two. All right, everybody. That's going to be the show for today. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Thanks for the Discord members. Thanks for the chat members. Thanks for the crew. Thanks to the subscribers. Thanks for the likes. Everybody throw the video a like right now. I got 11 people in here. Let's get 11 likes. You know what I mean? Let's get 11 likes on there. You know what I'm saying? Let's get 11 likes for the pie explanation. If nothing else, you know what I mean? We explain pie today. Not the kind you eat. All right, everybody. That's going to be the show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. till kind of whenever. Saturday from 7 p.m. kind of whenever. Eastern time, always. And until the next time, you guys, take care.